Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a power steering fluid flush on my Toyota 4Runner. Now, it's been quite a bit of time since I changed my power steering fluid. I think I changed it when I first got the vehicle about 5 or 6 years ago, and now it's about that time to change it again. Now, I'm not sure if there's a maintenance schedule for these power steering fluid, but if it's anything like your transmission, you probably want to change it every 50,000 miles. Now, speaking of transmission fluid, the power steering fluid actually uses Dextron 2 or 3, and I have this extra jug here from my transmission drain and fill, and it should do the job. Now, according to the factory service manual, you should only need a quart to drain and flush this system. There's only about a quart in there, but I have about 2.5 quarts here just in case, so this should do the job. Now, this job is a little bit messy, but let's go ahead and get to it. First thing we're going to do is jack up the front of the vehicle and put it on jack stands. We want both tires off the ground. All right, guys, we got both tires off the ground. If you are unsure how to do that, you guys can check out my other video on how to safely lift up your vehicle. I show you guys all the different jack points. And right now, both of the front tires are off the ground. All right, what we're looking at here is the power steering reservoir. You can see here, there is some fluid in here, and if you want to make less of a mess, you could try to take this out with a pump or a turkey baster or something, but really there's no avoiding it. If you look at the return hose here, it's pointing down, so you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to keep this not messy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen this clamp here. We're gonna slide it out of the way, and then we're gonna disconnect the hose, and then we're gonna let the reservoir drain. I'm gonna try to put this bottle under there to catch as much of the fluid as I can, so that way it doesn't make a huge mess. One thing you don't want is for it to go onto your belts over here. The power steering belt is right here, right in front of this, because it's gonna make it squeak and make all kinds of noises. Another thing I'm gonna be doing is down here on this hose, I'm gonna be clamping it with a hose clamp, so that way it doesn't spill fluid everywhere, and I'm gonna reroute this hose outside the passenger frame, and I'll show you guys that in a second. So here I'm gonna go ahead and clamp off the hose. Probably helps to remove this hose out of the way, but we're gonna see if we can do it without. All right, we've got that hose clamped down there as best we can. Now we're gonna remove this clamp here using long needle nose pliers. Put it up here on the top here, so that way it doesn't go down. Now we're gonna break this connection free here, and we're gonna use these Harbor Freight clamps. They're specifically for hoses. All right, it's starting to come already. So we're gonna get some rags down here, just prevent some mess. Just remember to try to protect this belt here. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove this hose for now. Get it out of the way. All right, we're gonna position the bottle down here. It helps to have a drain pan on the bottom, just in case. Who knows if it's gonna go in there, but we'll find out. So I'm just gonna put the hose down and put the bottle in its place. All right. All right, so the reservoir is draining into the bottle now, which should reduce the amount of mess we're gonna have here. And we're just gonna let that drain. And then we're gonna find something to cap off this return thing right here. I might just use an old glove and just wrap it around there with a rubber band or something. All right, guys, I had this vacuum cap assortment laying around, and this 3/16 inch hole one fit perfectly on there. So if you have one of these, you can just shove it on there and it'll stop it from leaking. So right now it's already on there and it's not leaking anymore, and we should be good to go. All right, so here's how much fluid came out. Not much. All right, make sure you don't lose your clamp. Mine fell down. All right, there is some fluid in this line still. We only clamped it down here, so there's still some fluid on top here. We're gonna put it in this rag here. Just gonna tilt it over a little bit and just let it go in this rag. All right, so what we're gonna do with this line now is we're gonna fish it through the hole right here that goes into the tire firewall or the tire area, and I'll show you where it comes out. All right, guys, we're under the passenger side tire here, and you can see I routed that hose down to the drain pan here. I do have it on a little stool, so that way it doesn't go everywhere. This hose is a little stiff, so I hooked the bungee cord to the spring there all the way across and hooked it under here, right under the skid plate. And you can see now it's going to direct the fluid into this pan. You want to make sure you have enough room to turn the steering wheel here. The tire might hit this and knock it over, you'll have a bad day. So now what we're going to do is, now that everything is set up, we're going to fill up the reservoir up there, and then we're going to turn the steering wheel lock to lock a couple times until new fluid starts coming out of here. Alright guys, let's go ahead and fill up the reservoir now. I'm going to be using that Dextron 3 that I have. It's a full synthetic. I'm going to fill it up to just about full. Alright, we're pretty much at the top of this funnel here, and it's already starting to leak out down there, so I'm going to head into the vehicle now, and I'm going to turn the steering wheel lock to lock, and then I'm going to come back out here and fill it up some more. Oh no! You idiot! Alright guys, so you guys saw the fluid draining, and you can see it's right at the edge, and it actually did tip over, so I am having a bad day. When I did this a long time ago, I didn't have big old 285s, so it didn't get in the way. But what you might want to do is actually get another hose and route it over there, or get a buddy to help you hold the hose over here more, so that way as you're turning this tire, it doesn't knock this guy over. I've already done 2 full lock to locks from both sides, and at this point we're pretty much done flushing the fluid. You can see there it's coming out pretty clean, so we're going to rehook up the hose, we're going to fill it back up on top, and then we're going to bleed the system. Alright guys, at this point we are about to rehook up the hose. Don't forget your hose clamp here. Definitely don't want to forget that. I'm going to take off this vacuum plug here. Might drip a little bit. Just put a rag under there just in case. Alright, we're going to go ahead and fish our hose over here. Not forgetting our hose clamp, of course. Alright. Gonna get our clamp back on. Alright, that's right about where it was. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and top off the fluid to the cold level here. Try not to overfill it. We're gonna put this back in and see where we're at. Okay, we need more. Alright, we're just about there now. We're actually above the high level. Alright you guys, now that the fluid level is where it needs to be, what we're going to do next is we're going to turn the steering wheel again lock to lock several times. That way we can bleed the system. You still want the vehicle lifted at this point, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, now that we've turned the steering wheel lock to lock several times with the vehicle lifted, we're going to lower the vehicle now and start the engine and do the same thing. Alright you guys, vehicle's back on the ground now. Don't forget to rehook up that air line we took off of the air box. What we're going to do now is fire up the vehicle, let it idle for a little bit, and then we're going to turn the wheel lock to lock again. Alright guys, that's pretty much all you need to do to bleed the system. You'll want to open the reservoir and check inside to make sure you don't have any bubbles in there or any foam. If you do, then you most likely have a leak in your system or something else is going on. It should be liquid, and you can see on my screen here, I'm going to put it up for you guys. This is what Toyota says it should look like, and you should be good to go. If you're doing this flush, most likely all the fluid that's going to be in there is going to be cold, so make sure it's up to that cold mark. If it's not, then you overfilled the system. You'll need to buy a turkey baster and suck some of it out, and then get it to the cold level. Well guys, hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you guys want to support me, maybe you guys can buy me a beer. Actually, I don't drink beer, so maybe you guys can buy me a coffee. The link is down in the description below. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments section. I'll make sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible. If you guys like videos like this, make sure you guys check out my channel. I have other videos on mods and maintenance, so make sure you guys check that out. Well guys, as always, have a nice day and I'll see you guys in the next video.